Hello everybody, this is your main man Keith here from Keith Plays PS4 927. Happy Tuesday afternoon to all my awesome viewers on this awesome channel. Today we are in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals for the 12-13 Miami Heat series. And evidently, we had lost last episode in Game 5 to the 88-89 Pistons, so now the Pistons had forced a game 6 on us, so all of our previous series, like in first round and semifinals, it was just a 5-game series, but it became a 6-game series for the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's something interesting to see along the lines there as well. So if we win today's episode, we are going to be in Auburn Hills, Michigan, by the way, today at the place of Auburn Hills, and if we win that, we advance on to the NBA Finals, and we'll probably face off against the 97-98 Utah Jazz. So without a further ado, we'll show you uniforms, and we'll see you at tip-off. Alright, so the Miami Heat are going to be wearing their red alternate uniforms on the road in Auburn Hills. Meanwhile, for the Detroit Pistons, they're going to be wearing their classic home 82 through 96 white uniforms at home. So without a further ado, we'll see you at tip-off. Alright, it is tip-off time here in Auburn Hills, Michigan. So the Detroit Pistons have won the tip-off. So now Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons, he's going to pass it over to Bill Laimbeer. And Isaiah Thomas is going to get an assist. So now LeBron James, the Akron, Ohio native, going to shoot this one in for 2. And it is evenly tied up 2-2. So now Joe Dumars is going to pass it over to Isaiah Thomas. And Dumars picks it up, but Thomas lost the ball for about a second or so. So now Rodman is going to pick up an assist. So now we got LeBron James out on the court. So the Akron, Ohio native is going to knock a 3 down for the Miami Heat. And it is now going to be 5-4 here in the 3-1-3. So now James passing over to Bosch and LeBron James with the assist. So it's now 7-4 here in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Chris Bosch with a steal, going to pass it over to Mario Chalmers. Bosch with the assist. It's now 9-4 Miami. So Isaiah Thomas with that possession of the basketball. He doesn't have it now. Mario Chalmers picking up the steal. Going to pass over to LeBron James. And there is a foul on Dennis Rodman. And let's see what that is on. It's a shooting foul. So this means LeBron James is going to go to the free throw line for the Miami Heat. He gets it in there. The Detroit Pistons are taking the timeout. All right. Now we are back from break. D-Wade out on the court for the Heat. He is going to knock a 3 down. Actually misses that. But then LeBron James is going to pass it out to Wade. So nice offensive rebound by Chris Bosh there that time. And it's now 17-10 evidently. So now Joe Dumars and the Pistons are going to lose the basketball. So now I'm thinking about passing it over to LeBron James. So that's going to be a 3-pointer, and it's now going to be 20-10, and we are leading this one by half. So now Isaiah Thomas has possession of the basketball. 4 steals already for Miami, and Thomas, he's going to pass it over to Rodman, gets it in there. So the Heat are going to take a timeout. We're actually going to do some minor substitutions here. Alright, so we are back from the depth chart substitution. Wade gonna fire it, passing it over to Ray Allen, and Ray Allen gets it in there for 2 points. So now 92% in field goals, 10.5 points per game, and 1.3 assists per game throughout this NBA postseason for Ray Allen. So now Wade gonna pass it over to Ray Allen, and it looks like Ray Allen's gonna step back, pull a 3, misses that, and the Pistons have an opportunity to score this one in. So it's now going to be 22-14. And now we're actually going to make it 24-14 since Dwayne Wade makes the dunk. 33.3 seconds are left in the first quarter. So now Vinnie Johnson with possession, losing the basketball, picking it back up. So now Johnson going to pass it over to James Edwards. Rashad Lewis picking up that steal. I'm thinking about using some Wade. And Wade is actually going to get this one in. So it's now going to be 26-14. So the Heat are up by 12. So Miami leads the series 3-2. So now John Long going to pass over to Vinnie Johnson. And it's now 26-16. We're just simply going to end the first quarter by dribbling the basketball. So 26-16 is the first quarter score. Miami leads it by 10. All right, 26-16. Now Dwayne Wade out on the court for the Heat. Going to pass it over to Chris Bosh. And now Chris Bosh is making another dunk here for the Heat. And now Miami's up 28-16. And Vinnie Johnson out on the court. And it looks like he's going to pass it over to Mike Miller. And Miller gets it in there for 2. Now it's 28-18. Udonis Haslem, I'm thinking about passing it over to Ray Allen. Gets it in there, and it's now 30-18. So the Pistons are up by 12 points. So now for the Heat are up by 12 points, excuse me. John Long, I'm going to pass over to Udonis Haslem, and then John Long going to pass it over to Darius Miller. And we're going to use Dwayne Wade, going to pass it over to Ray Allen. Makes his first 3 of the game, because his first attempt of making a 3 did not go successful. And I think it was, if I remember correctly, Chris Bosh picked up the rebound, and offensive rebound rather, and scored it in. So now Wade out on the court. Very late release, by the way, and the Pistons have recovered the basketball. So now Johnson with possession of the basketball, and he gets it in there for 2, and it's now 33-24. Ray Allen gonna knock a 3 down for the Heat, and it's now 36-24. So now Johnson with possession of the basketball, and it looks like Ray Allen is going to pass it over to Udonis Haslem, and Vinnie Johnson has a foul. So now Udonis Haslem is out on the court for the Heat, gets that 3 throw in, and it's now going to be 39-24. Dennis Rodman passing it over to Isaiah Thomas. So now Isaiah Thomas has possession, going to pass it over to Rodman, gets it in there, and it's now 39-26. And now Shane Battier gets it in there for 2. So we are actually going to take a break for our depth chart substitutions. All right, so we are back out on the court. We took a timeout to put in some depth chart substitutions. Now we got LeBron James out on the court for the Heat. And it's now 45-31. LeBron James with 15 points today. And he only has 4 from mid-range. So now LeBron James makes that steal. He is going to get that in there for 2. So the release was excellent, and he was wide open there. And 17 points today, and he's off to a hot start. All right, so the Pistons were doing some minor depth chart substitutions. So that's why I paused there for a little bit. So now Isaiah Thomas is out on the court for the Pistons. And now it looks like that Thomas, he's going to pass it over to Joe Dumars. So now Dumars gets this one in for 2. And it's now 47-33 at the moment. I'm going to pass it over to LeBron James. So now James, he's going to fire a 3 from behind the arc. And it's now going to be at 50-33. And Dennis Rodman is going to pass it over to Isaiah Thomas. So now James with a dunk, and it's now 52-33 at the moment. So Miami's looking red hot than ever. And there's 29 seconds left. So now LeBron James going to fire a three from behind the arc, and there's 20 seconds exactly left in the first half, and we're up by 22 at this point. And Isaiah Thomas going to pass it over to Joe Dumars, and then passing it over to Bill Laimbeer. 10 seconds left, and now Laimbeer gets it in there, and now there's 7 to go. So now we're going to pass it over to Juwan Howard, and we're just going to end it here to end the first half. And the Heat are up by 20 on the road, so it's now 55-35 halftime score. All right, now we are beginning the second half here in Auburn Hills, Michigan. So now D-Wade gonna make a three fly, and he actually misses that. And Shane Battier has a loose ball foul. So this means Detroit now has possession of the basketball. So now Joe Dumars out on the court for the Pistons. So now Dumars is going to pass over to Rodman. Rodman dunks it in. So now it looks like Wade is going to pass it over to James. So now LeBron James gets it in there for 2. Now it's going to be 57-37. 27 points for LeBron James, by the way. He had 25 in the first half, and that was incredible. I mean, he did have a red-hot start. And now LeBron James makes the steal, and I'm thinking about passing it over to Battier. And LeBron James is definitely going to pick up an assist. And it's now going to be 60-37. So now Isaiah Thomas has possession. Going to pass over to Joe Dumars. Going to pass over to Bill Laimbeer. And Laimbeer gets it in. So the Heat are going to take a timeout. Alright, so it's now 60-39. We're going to pass it over to Juwan Howard, and then some Shane Battier once added. Howard gets the assist, and Battier, the Duke product, scores it. So now Shane Battier, the Duke product, gets it in there for 2. Now it's 64-39, and Detroit has 12 turnovers, and we've had 25 points off of our turnovers. So now Johnson losing the basketball, and Shane Battier picks it up. It looks like he is going to dunk it in, and he will. Now it's 66-39. So the Miami Heat are looking red hot on the road. They're up by 27 already. And now Vinnie Johnson going to pass it over to Dennis Rodman. Rodman makes that nice dunk in the paint. So it's now 66-41. So now LeBron James, he is going to get this one in there for 2. Now it's 68-41. LeBron James has 29 points and 5 from mid-range. So now Vinnie Johnson makes that nice spin move, passing it over to Joe Dumars and gets it in there for 2. So now we got Dwayne Wade out on the court for the Heat. Going to pass it over to Battier, Wade, Howard, and James with a nice 3. He passed it around so many times, and that's why LeBron James made that 3 possible. So now Johnson losing the basketball, James picking it up, and LeBron James makes a dunk. It's now 73-43, and Vinnie Johnson losing the basketball, and the Pistons have possession of it. Alright, so the Pistons have changed their depth chart, and so have we. So now Isaiah Thomas passing it over to Bill Laimbeer, and now James Edwards gets it in there. So it's now 75-49. 34.8 seconds are left. And now LeBron James hits a 3. And it's now going to be 78-49. So now Isaiah Thomas losing the basketball. And now LeBron James going to hit a 3 once at it. And it's now going to be 81-49. And Detroit is down by 32. So they've got to get their strategic game plan situations together, or else they're going to get eliminated in this round, and we will advance to the NBA Finals. So now Isaiah Thomas out on the court, losing the basketball. Wade gets it in there, and it's now going to be 86-49. 3.5 seconds are left in the third, and Isaiah Thomas picking it up, trying to attempt a half court, no good. End of third quarter, Miami is up by 36 points. Your State Farm assist of the game is coming right up. So now Dwayne Wade passing it over to LeBron James. Gets it in there for two. So now we advance on to the fourth quarter in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. So now Smith has possession of the basketball. So he's going to pass it over to Mark Aguirre. So now Mark Aguirre is going to pass it over to Darius Miller. And now Darius Miller has possession, going to pass it over to James Edwards and then Smith. And now Mark Aguirre gets it in the buzzer beater for three. And now we're going to pass it over to LeBron James. The 12-13 Heat have made 7 more threes than the 88-89 Detroit Pistons. Now it's 87-52. Make it 88 because he's going to get a free throw attempt out of that. So it's now 88-52. 3:28 to go in the fourth quarter. Makes a nice spin move, by the way, Smith. And there is a foul on Jeff Teague, which he is not on the 2012-13 Miami Heat actual roster. However, he ended up playing. He played for the Atlanta Hawks at that point. And from what I last understand, he might have last played with the Timberwolves or the Celtics last season, from what I understand. So he just recently retired, Jeff Teague, and it's now 90-54. LeBron James making the steal, gonna make a dunk happen. It's now 92-54. So nice slam cam, by the way. 47 points for LeBron James. I think this guy is gonna wind up being player of the game and the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals all the way. So it's now 95-54. And the Heat are for sure going to win this game no matter what. LeBron James going to pass it over to Mike Miller. Teague going to pass it over to Udonis Haslem, who is actually the only active player on that team now. He's still with the Miami Heat after 19 seasons. He is a Miami native, believe it or not. So he actually played with Shaquille O'Neal and won the 2006 NBA Finals. So that's somewhat interesting to see along the lines, because you don't see a whole lot. And he was an undrafted player, by the way. So that makes it understandable. 99. We're going to use Mike Miller. Hits a three. Misses that. Pistons have possession. We're actually going to take a break. Alright, LeBron James is your player of the game, and I am going to go over the numbers, by the way, at the end of the game. So now LeBron James, he is your player of the game. Bosch going to pass it over to Allen. 1.12 seconds are left, so we're going to pass it over to Ray Allen. So another rebound made by the one and only Chris Bosch. So he has 2 offensive rebounds on the day. So now Smith has possession. So now Chris Bosch has made a steal. Going to pass it over to Ray Allen. Makes a dunk. He has rarely made dunks during his NBA tenure. And the Heat are up by 45. Actually make that 47 with the Chris Bosch dunk. And we are going to take the W, and we are going to be claimed ourselves as Eastern Conference champions. And we are definitely going to face off against the 97-98 Utah Jazz in the NBA Finals. Alright, 110-69 is going to be the final score here in Auburn Hills, Michigan. And the Miami Heat are going to advance on to the NBA Finals. So now we're just going to dribble it out, and we are claimed the Eastern Conference champions.
opportunity now, just 4 wins away from a championship.
Yeah, it's so close. I mean, they can practically taste it right now, but it's not going to be easy. Those next 4 wins are going to be the most difficult of the season if they can get them. But no matter what happens, I think the accomplishment of winning the conference championship is something this franchise and its fans will always remember.
And they'll represent the East in a final series that's mere days away. And so this one is in the books. We hope you've enjoyed being with us for the Eastern Conference Finals. For Greg Anthony, Doris.
Congrats, Miami. You are representing the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. So, this is a major accomplishment by this 2012-13 Heat team. And I am so proud of them. And I really enjoyed doing this series with you guys. So, we're going to go over the numbers right now. LeBron James, 50 points, 3 assists, 9 steals, 4 dunks on the way. By the way, 8 for 8 from behind the arc. So, really, LeBron James, he had scored 25 points in the first half, 25 in the second half. Ray Allen had 15 points, 3 assists, 1 steal on the day. He did have a dunk there. Dwayne Wade, 13 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 dunks, by the way. Shane Battier, 13 points in all. Udonis Haslem with 9 points. Chris Bosh with 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, and 2 offensive rebounds. So congrats to the Miami Heat. You're advancing on to the NBA Finals. Isaiah Thomas, 14 points, 4 assists, 1 steal in all. Darius Miller, 12 points, 2 assists on the day. Joe Dumars, 8 points in all. Dennis Rodman, 8 points, 1 assist on the day with 3 dunks. So that wraps it up, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next episode, which will be the NBA Finals, by the way.